Hi, my name is Sophie Rodriguez, and I'm from the Menifee Heritage FFA chapter. Today, I will be judging a class of Southern Magnolia trees. My placing for these trees was 4, 2, 1, 3. Again, that's 4, 2, 1, 3. Now, I had 4 as my top because 4 was extremely symmetrical. It had only one central leader, which a lot of the other trees did not, and a central leader is good because it'll lead for good structure in the future. It did not have great taper on the tree, on the central leader. Taper is whenever the base is larger than the top and it slowly thins out like a rat's tail. That's what taper means, and this is extremely important for the structural aspect of the tree. This one didn't have a great taper. I would have liked to see a better taper on it. This tree also had it didn't have a ton of new growth, but it did have some new growth, which I did like seeing, which is good because a lot of the other trees did not. And although there was browning on the leaves, this is true to form for the Southern Magnolia trees. They always have that brown underside to their leaves. It's part of their characteristics, so it's nothing of concern with the browning of the leaves. There was also some bare areas within the foliage where there was just no branches. I would have liked to see some more growth there. That could be fixed during the springtime with a good enough pruning job. Overall, this was the best tree out of them because it was extremely symmetrical. It was tall. It had one central leader, and that's what I really want to see in trees. Next up, I had tree number 2. Now, tree number 2 was placed underneath number 1, mainly because it had suckers at the bottom. And suckers, you don't want to see suckers on a tree. Suckers are little baby trees that grow out from the base of the mother tree. And this isn't good because they take nutrients from the tree and it shows that the tree is in a state of stress. So these need to be pruned off immediately or else it'll cause the tree to it'll be bad for the tree. So also, in addition to that, it wasn't as symmetrical nor straight as tree number 4 was. And it also had 2 central leaders, which I don't like seeing because that'll impact the structural aspect of the tree in the future. Next up, I had tree number 1. Tree number 1 was my third tree because it was a little lopsided. It had good taper, I'll give it that, but it had actually 3 central leaders, which is not good. You don't want more than one because then they'll be competing for atypical dominance, which means that the tree's on it, it's always fighting against itself, and you don't want to see that because that's not good for the tree. And it'll lead to a lot of structural problems in the future, especially because there's 3 central leaders. Those need to be pruned off so there's only one main central leader. It did have good taper though, I'll give it that. I like that it had the good taper. And there was some slight new growth, but there was too much lower branches. Those need to be pruned off as well. And my final tree in this class was tree number 3. This was because there was 2 obvious central leaders. It's been like that for a while. It needs to be pruned back so that there's only one central leader, so there's not that fight for the atypical dominance. There's also no new growth at all, and there was no vigor. It was all old growth. I would assume that this tree has been in a place where it wasn't getting enough light, or it maybe just hasn't had the right growing conditions, hasn't gotten the right water amounts. Something was causing this tree to stop growing, or possibly it's just under a lot of stress. Maybe it's new to the nursery and it's not used to the environment there, but ultimately I wouldn't want to put this tree in my ground because as of right now it has no new growth and it doesn't show any it doesn't seem like it's going to grow in the environment where it's going to be put. Thank you. My name was Sophie Rodriguez from the Menifee Heritage FFA chapter, and my placing for these trees was 4213. Thank you.